Alright, so now we're ready to move on to step number 4 of the Tutorial 2 review assignment. Step 4 is going to ask us to create a new table using Design View. So back in step 3, 2 and 3, we took the supplier table and modified what we had done back from chapter 1, and now we're going to create a new table, and this time we're going to create it using Design View. So we'll go here to Create, and then in the table grouping we'll choose Table Design, and we'll have the same interface that we just worked in for modifying the supplier table, and this time we're going to create the product table with the field names as indicated. This is on page 106, figure 2-46. So we're going to do product ID. That'll be our primary key, and it's short text. Alright, so same kind of stuff we just did, but difference being we're just creating the table this time instead of modifying an existing table. I will tell you this, the most important thing when you're entering this data is to make sure your field names are exactly right, and your data types, field sizes, all that stuff, they have to be exactly right. If you have a one keystroke error, then you will have a problem when you go to do some imports and when you go to create your relationships between the tables. So that'll make a little more sense when we get there and we start talking about that in more detail. But bottom line is, slow it down if you have to, and just make sure that you're very accurate in your entries, because it will cause problems if you're not. And as usual, it's generally speaking, it's much better to do it right the first time than have to go back and fix it. Okay, so product name, that one's going to be 75 characters, and caption product name. Alright, so you can kind of get the idea here that we're going to continue on down, make each of these entries. There are a number of property settings to do. I'm not going to do all of these on video because it's I'm sure it's quite boring. But we will come back at the end here when I get to units, and we'll talk a little bit about the settings for that particular one, and it'll hopefully make a little more sense when we get through there. Let's see, so we got price, which is going to be a currency field, and the format. I'm not really sure why we would ever choose standard for the format for currency. Seems to me that you would want to have the dollar signs, but in this case we're choosing currency. Has a standard format with 2 decimal places. Alright, so I'll stop video here. We'll pick back up here in just a second, and we'll talk about the remaining fields.